normally have. Vic Faust here, Pro Joe alongside. Welcome to Arch City Now. It is Monday. It is June 23rd. It is hot. It is sticky pretty much all over the country. We're broadcasting live this morning from a prearranged trip that was already going to happen in Myrtle Beach. So I'm coming to you live from Myrtle Beach this morning, getting some things done from that standpoint. Glad you guys are with us. Guess what? It's hot and sticky in South Carolina, just as it is in St. Louis. And boy, oh boy, the heat is something that we have been talking about. Of course, we are Arch City Now. You can stream us as always on Arch City Now. When it comes to X, you can do Arch City Now on YouTube. And as always, we are your information station, live and on demand at luinfo.com. You can check out our show and everything else that happens throughout the morning. Lots to get to, as we always talk about when it comes to Monday mornings. Anything that we can do if you stayed up late like I did. If you're a sports fan, the NBA Finals have been taken care of. And from that standpoint, it is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who would have ever thought just a couple of years ago the Oklahoma City Thunder would be the NBA champs? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, what a phenomenal year. Not only the MVP of the league, but also the MVP of the game last night, 29 points. And it was a really unfortunate when Indiana's best player, maybe one of the best players in the game, who might have had a bigger game than Shai, who knows, Tyrese Halliburton, of course, in the first quarter, had an Achilles injury. We've seen more of those in recent years. And as soon as he went to the ground, he knew it. We knew it, that he wouldn't be back in. Indiana fought hard, but without their star, one of the best players in the league, they couldn't do much from that standpoint. Indiana loses. They go on to have a fantastic year, maybe surprising a lot of people, maybe not themselves, but Oklahoma City taking care of business. They are your your NBA champs. They are the winners in the NBA this year. Just a big, big night for them. Also, when it comes to news, the Cardinals couldn't finish sweeping the Cincinnati Reds yesterday, but that was fine. They took 2 of 3. That was a good way to start the homestand. They have now won 5 of 6. They're 4.5 games behind the Chicago Cubs, who are coming to town today to begin a 4-game series. That will be happening in St. Louis. And you look at what to make any ground, they're going to have to win 3 of 4. To stay put, they're going to have to split that series. And they've certainly played a lot better, getting their lineup back in check. And, of course, we all know it starts with pitching. And, of course, we'll see where that goes. So, as always, you guys can jump in and join us on YouTube on the chat line. We appreciate it when you guys do that. We love it when you guys talk with us and, of course, talk with each other. People get up, they get moving. We do those things to get you guys going on a Monday morning. And of course, sizzling as like the sizzling summer in St. Louis. The heat today is supposed to be the high right around 100 again, just under, which means the heat indices are extremely high. And of course, if you're outside, it's oppressive. It is absolutely oppressive. Not sure if people had a chance to get out to pools, get out to do anything. But even you need to be sitting in water. It's just difficult to be sitting outside doing nothing. Of course, if you know people that need to be checked on or helped in any certain way, we should certainly do that from that standpoint as well. And especially going to Cardinals games, it's just hot at Busch, man. It is. It's just hot. Once again, Vic Faust here for people just coming in. This is Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Central, bringing you the latest in St. Louis. Jump in on the chat line. You can do that on X and YouTube, Arch City Now. Once again, X and YouTube at Arch City Now. Let us know what's up in your neck of the woods. What kind of stories have we missed? What do we need to make sure to give a shout out to? Businesses, people, you name it, we'll get it out there for you. It also is a situation where we're broadcasting live this morning on location from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And, the weather here is not as bad. It's interesting. St. Louis is just the heat is phenomenal. Some of the stories that we're going to be covering on the show this morning. And if you have something else that you want to get out there, you let us know. Some interesting news with Chip Caray, the Cardinals broadcaster. He's done a terrific job in St. Louis, but he accidentally said a word. And these are things that can happen. They've happened to other St. Louis broadcasters where you're trying to say something, but the linguistics of pronouncing something coming out of the mouth and the tongue says something else. Major League Baseball and the St. Louis Cardinals are not suspending Chip Caray for what he said. It came out as a homophobic slur. We'll get into that in just a little bit as well. But St. Louis making some news on a national scale from that standpoint. Also, the B-2 bombers that were in action on Saturday in Iran, stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. They're back home, 7 of them. We'll have an update from that standpoint as well. Another story, the SLU president, Fred Postello, is retiring at the end of the month. He has been at SLU for over 10 years. It had always been a Jesuit priest who had been in charge of that. Can you hear that? You hear the birds? We're on the beach. Projo, how does that sound on the other end?
It's you sound fine. You can definitely hear honking in the back.
Yeah, those are birds.
Yeah.
Do you call that a honk? A honker?
Yeah, goose honk. They honk. Geese honk.
Geese. Yeah, speaking of which, Brentwood Park officials had to capture and kill geese from Brentwood because of excessive poop. The landscape was going down. That was another interesting story that happened in the St. Louis area that we'll have a chance to cover as well. So this is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. Glad you guys are with us this morning. If there are other stories that are going on that we're not 100% familiar with, let us know. If you want to give a shout out to a person, a business, let us know from that standpoint as well. We're here to make your day get started as quick as we could. Coming up, of course, after our show today, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Central is Hot Take Central 2.0. The former Blue Cam Jansen and St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster Jim Hayes will be taking care of that to make sure that you guys are up to date when it comes to this morning of June 23rd, 2025. What's going on in the St. Louis area? Do you have plans? What can you really do with this heat? Because the heat is something that I don't know. I mean, did you find any water over the weekend,
I was at
Joe?
a pool party, and unless you're actually in the pool the entire time, it's miserable. Yeah.
No, it's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. There's nothing you can do. And it's one of those things we talked about last week as well throughout the St. Louis metro area and Missouri. Another sad story from Crawford County. Another teen, a 17-year-old, was swimming in the Merrimack right near Crawford County and got tired, went under, and they couldn't pull them out. The Missouri Highway Patrol report said that the teen was just pulled underneath by the water, and he was fatigued. He was just unable to resurface. They pulled him out, but unfortunately, he was pronounced dead at the scene. And you don't want to see these water-related fatalities, but people are going to be doing more things. If you get into something like that, you need to wear a life jacket. And if you don't, you take your risk. But Projo, you talk about the heat. We went from having a rainy, cooler spring, beginning of summer to all of a sudden, boom, summer comes and now it's in the hundreds. I couldn't agree with you anymore. I just don't know. I mean, it's like you stay inside, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I wish I was yesterday.
Instead of enjoying outside.
The sun is brutal too. I mean, I'm pretty burnt.
Oh yeah. No, the sun is. You got to protect in some sort of way, skin protection. I've always said that. You can debate whether the sun is good or bad or anything, but moderation is the key. Make sure you're in, you're out, you can protect yourself, but still, that doesn't mean don't get in the sun. At the same point in time, we're going to have this for most of the week, and it is what it is. We just deal with it in St. Louis, and Check the camps if kids might be going to them. Camps may be pushed off later. They may be earlier. There's a lot of people who work outside in the St. Louis area as well, whether it's construction, roofing, you name it, pest control, a lot of people outside as well. So they're having to deal with this heat and find a way as well. And it's not only heat. I mean, this is close to being record-breaking heat. We could break a record today. The record is 101. So we could, break that today. So we'll see. We're going to take a quick break. This is Arch City Now. We'll be back with more right after this. Of course, we are your information station, live and on demand at luinfo.com.
Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes. Weekday mornings from 8 to 10, only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page and follow all the station's social media accounts and podcasts. Find out how at luinfo.com.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
This is former Cardinal and Navy Lieutenant Mitch Harris. Salute those who served. Join the Cardinals on Friday, July 11th for Military Appreciation Night, presented by Boeing. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals 40-ounce tumbler, honoring all 6 military branches. Arrive early for a powerful pregame concert by the U.S. Air Force Band on the Budweiser stage. And best of all, a portion of each ticket benefits USO Missouri. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/state. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A suspect died after being shot by police early Sunday morning. The initial shooting happened around 2 a.m. on Manchester off Sarah Street near the Grove. When one person was taken to the hospital, the suspect took off on a moped and ended at a vacant lot on Clayton and Vandeventer, where officers said he refused orders and reached into a bag. And that's when 2 detectives fired and killed him. The military members involved in the U.S. strikes in Iran on Saturday have ties to Missouri. B-2 stealth pilots from Whiteman Air Force Base in Knob Noster, Missouri, completed the mission flawlessly, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. It took an 18-hour flight with minimal communication before carrying out the attack. In total, more than 125 U.S. aircraft participated in the mission. And extreme heat advisories in effect again today, with highs in the upper 90s and a heat index over 100. In fact, 105 for the heat index. Make sure to limit outdoor activities, stay hydrated, and make certain children and pets are never left unattended in a car for any length of time. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your luinfo.com weather update. We're getting sunshine and very hot temperatures today. Our air temperature hitting the upper 90s, but our heat index today at about 105. Partly cloudy for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 70s. More heat and humidity coming up on Tuesday. Maybe an afternoon shower. We'll be in the upper 90s. Heat index about 110. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. That's 800-891-6335.
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get. A full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury resort hotel. A delicious full breakfast buffet every morning you're here. And when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive
Like 30
Branson
seconds.
and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even need to know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. It is Arch City Now on a Monday morning, June 23rd. Okay, we've been talking about, there's only so many times you can say it. The heat and humidity in St. Louis are going to be straight out oppressive today. Chance for record highs, as you hear. The record, by the way, for our area, 101 on this day, and we certainly have a chance of going past that today. We are on location this morning, a trip previously planned before we started this wonderful network, so we're here today. We are in, or at least I'm in, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, if anybody knows. Yeah, that light's not supposed to be there. We'll get that better for tomorrow. We were trying to show you the ocean from that standpoint, but we press on. We continue on here on Arch City Now. This station is all about St. Louis, everything St. Louis. You tell us what's happening in your neck of the woods. Keep us posted. What are people talking about? And, of course, when you jump in on the chat line, you can do so at Arch City Now on YouTube, or you can go to X. So you can go to YouTube or X and go to Arch City Now. And then, of course, you can jump in, chat with us, and then, of course, chat with others who are in the box as well. If there's a story that's going on that we've missed, let us know, and we'll do that. You can also give us a call. The phone number, 855-282-8255, 855-282-8255 to join us on Arch City Now this morning. Glad you're with us. It is the 23rd. Summer is here. We are ready to rock and roll. A lot of stories to get to as well. We were talking about the Cardinals. They've won 5 of 6. They couldn't pull off the sweep with the Reds yesterday. That's just how it goes sometimes. So they do take 5 of 6 of their last games with the White Sox and the Reds. However, the big series, it begins today. 4-game series at Busch with the Cubs. The Cardinals are currently 4.5 games behind Chicago. And so they have to take 3 of 4 to make up at least 1 ground when you do the math. If they split, obviously they stay where they are, and anytime after that, that's what happens. We talk about being live on location in South Carolina down in Myrtle Beach. Every now and then you'll have trucks that come through and make some noise, so we talk over that. Hopefully you guys are patient from that standpoint.
Sound fine.
Please like, subscribe, share the show. What's
Yeah, you
that,
sound
Joe?
fine. You're
Okay, fantastic. Yes, we love it from that standpoint. Okay, glad you're with us today. Cardinals lose yesterday, 4-game series coming up with Chicago. I love St. Louis, and I love these games, but, man, sitting in Busch Stadium in that kind of heat would be insane. 4 straight games. you were talking about yesterday being out at the pool. That was a tough sell.
Man, the last time I went to a ball game, I got severely burnt. If you're not on the lower part underneath like the overhang, you're fried.
Oh yeah, to have the protection, of course, absolutely. And the other thing that's making a little bit of news, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, this story reminds me of what happened to former Fox broadcaster Kevin Steincross when he did not intentionally use words that were derogatory to African Americans. He was fired for it because he had said he was trying to say Martin Luther King Jr. and another word came out when it came to the Martin Lou and going into King. Some people may remember that. A similar instance, and being in broadcasting my whole life, it can happen. And that Martin Luther King Jr., from a linguistic standpoint, that had been said by anchors like 4 or 5 times before Kevin did it. And not to make this segment about Kevin, but Kevin eventually lost his job because he said that accident. And my humble heart said it accidentally. Other people thought, well, if it's in your mind or it would come out in your tongue, whatever. Anyway, veteran Cardinals broadcaster Chip Caray had an incident over the weekend. Not sure if you guys are familiar with this. I will tell you in advance that he is not going to be suspended by the Cardinals or Major League Baseball. And what happened was he was doing a promo. And it's interesting because he was reading a promo for the Cardinals Disability Pride Night. Once again, it's the Cardinals Disability Pride Night. So the slip up came about, he was trying to do this promo. He said what he said. We'll tell you what he said. And then there was like 30 seconds of silence after he said, obviously he probably recognized it. I think he's done a pretty darn good job for the Cardinals. And it's difficult when the Cardinals aren't winning and going to the playoffs to be a broadcaster. It is, because we just expect greatness in St. Louis, or we expect at least making the playoffs. This is what he said, by saying, quote, he was trying to do this promo. Disability Pride Night is Thursday, July 10th, and with a themed ticket, fans take home a Cardinals cap featuring the Disability Pride, and he meant to say the Disability Pride flag. The word that came out was dropping the L. So it rhymes with flag, but minus the L. So he accidentally said featuring the Disability Pride minus the L. And Cardinals in Braille. So he said that, realized the mistake. And I mean, is it bad? Is it not?
I think this was a slip of the tongue.
Obviously,
I think this was a slip of the tongue.
Well, yeah, it was. But do you remember Kevin Steincross's deal with Fox?
I don't remember.
Don't you think that was a slip of the tongue too? And if you know Kevin, you know that was a slip of the tongue. So this was a slip of the tongue, clearly. And Pro Joe, from being in the business and working with me, I mean, of course, I never make any mistakes, right?
No, man, I stutter.
That you start talking and you're talking fast. The St. Louis Cardinals, okay. When you start to talk, some of those things happen. I mean, I guarantee nobody feels worse about it than Chip.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's what we were told. So Front Office Sports reported that Caray will not be punished for his on-air slip, which did seem like a true, honest mistake, which is what Projo, you were saying and what I was saying. They said, quote, St. Louis Cardinals announcer Chip Caray will not, I repeat, will not be suspended for or punished for now. Those were the key words, for now, despite uttering a homophobic slur during a Cardinals game telecast Saturday. That's what sources were telling Front Office Sports. Now, FanDuel Sports Network Midwest declined to comment when they were reached out to on Saturday afternoon, but sources said the network is not going to discipline Carey for that mistake. Instead, the network is chalking it up to an honest mistake during a live read by an announcer who meant no insult to any viewers. And I am so glad to hear that this is how the Cardinals are doing this, because sometimes you can, we got to do something bad. We got to do this. We got to do that. And thankfully they didn't. And I think it's the right decision. Those things happen, but we know that sometimes our society, they don't forgive you, or they'll try to come after you. Maybe in time they do, but they'll try to come after you. So that was a situation regarding the Cardinals from Saturday, and now they're just going to move on from that. But what was interesting is they said for now. So I don't know. We'll have to see where all of that goes. But nonetheless, that's what's happened. If people were wondering what the news was with Chip Carey, that something happened. So, hey, life happens. It's a mistake. You wish you could take it back. You can't. He was reading it fast, and so be it. Those are the things that happen. So
I mean,
hopefully people are not offended by the mistake.
Stuff like that happens all the time. It's just never as unfortunate as that one was.
Yeah, and it's a live read. That's what I mean. That's the other
Right.
thing. It's when you're doing live reads, and you just think of the hundreds of live reads that are done over and over and over again by Chip, and you get moving and saying things fast. This thing happened to me when I was doing color for Mizzou football. You know, I'm right out of school. I'm in the booth with Mike Kelly, John Cadillac. I was a color voice. I did pregame, I did postgame, but during the game, one of the games, one of those things that happened was I was trying to talk about the backfield, and it just slipped out. I said the blackfield. You know, and L came in there, and it just happened to be that the quarterback and running backs in the game at that time were African American. You know, so I mean, those kind of things can happen, and then that's not funny. But then another one, instead of saying the game clock, I'm down in South Carolina where they're known as the Gamecocks. So you see my,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I just said that. Of course,
An
I was
L
talking
is a
about the
tricky
South
thing,
Carolina.
apparently.
Yeah, I was talking about the South Carolina Gamecocks, not the game clock.
Right.
But those, I mean, those are personal things that happened to me, and it's like, oh man, and we weren't, and I had to hear about that a little bit for my bosses, just like, be careful, make sure that you're not doing that. So I'm sure I can't say every broadcaster, but if you do it long enough, and especially in sports, and you're talking fast or high energy, and there's reads like that things are going to happen. So let's see. I'm glad to see, and I hope that the words for now are legit, mean forever. Let's not. So we won't do that. We're talking about it. Chip Carey accidentally said it, and then we'll see. And it happened on a Saturday afternoon. Sometimes things occur, and I'm not saying that people are looking to be victims or situations like that, but sometimes it just takes one person to make something big, and then other people feel, well, we have to do this and we have to do this, but they've already stopped it, and that's where we are. So, hey, mistakes happen, and then you move on from that standpoint. So Cardinals will be back in action tonight, obviously taking on the Chicago Cubs, and hopefully the story will be died down by that time. We all know SLU is a big time university in our area. And we were talking about SLU on Friday, and we had Gabe Crocker in, fantastic law school, terrific university. So many people who come out of high school go to SLU University. So many people have degrees from that great university. We love watching their sports, and it is part of us. The president of SLU has announced that he's going to step down And, up until Dr. Fred Pistello was named the leader of the Catholic school in 2014, the university had always had a Jesuit priest. So Dr. Pistello is going to be stepping down at the end of the month from SLU in that position. They're starting to look for a replacement. He said, quote, "I was transformed by the Jesuit education. I received an undergraduate there. I've always felt privileged to be at a faith-based institution, an institution that stands for something." So Dr. Fred Pistello, been there for 10 years, stepping down at the end of this month. There was historic growth when it comes to the number of students, to the amount of research that SLU is now doing. SLU is in a good spot right now. And, big time kudos go out to Dr. Pistello. Sometimes when you're in that position, well, many times, people will like you, people will not like you, or the job that you're doing. And then you just have to find a way to work around that to make sure that you're bringing the best that you possibly can to the job. So SLU will be looking for a new president. Of course, we'll be keeping you posted with information that we find out that comes through from that standpoint as well. Guys, this is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, Projo alongside this morning, coming to you live from South Carolina, talking about our show from a vacation trip that was planned. We were able to make it happen from a technical standpoint. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it works. And that's why we are here from this standpoint. And we invite you into the show as well, as always. This show is about St. Louis. What's happening in our neck of the woods? What are people talking about? What are we dealing with? Jump into the show. You can do it at YouTube and at X, Arch City Now. Once again, you go to YouTube and X at Arch City Now. You can jump in on the chat, say hi, let us know where you're coming from. If there's a topic we need to talk about, if there's a shout out that needs to happen, we can do that as well. Doing anything and everything to promote St. Louis. That's what this show's about. If you want to email us, you can do that as well. archcitynow@gmail.com. archcitynow@gmail.com. If you have an idea for the show from a broadcasting standpoint, if you want to get involved from an advertising standpoint as well, you let us know. And of course, we'll do that. You can also call us at 855-282-8255. We'll get that phone call patched through. We'll talk to you from that standpoint. If you want to jump in the show, as people do, we can also send you a video link and you can join the show with us. Once again, the number 855-282-8255. Other streaming platforms on the way. Projo, we should be getting close to streaming on TikTok, I would say, right?
Yeah, I think we're a little less than a week away.
Facebook coming as well, where you have a countdown. You have to bide your time for a little bit before you can start streaming there. But of course, you watch us there. You can listen to us on luinfo.com as well. Once again, luinfo.com, where you have everything coming up on the station. And of course, we talk about and promote the shows that follow us, which are the Hot Take Central 2.0 show, which will be coming up from 8 to 10 today with the former Blue Cam Jansen and St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster Jim Hayes. Other topics that we'll talk about today, clearly the heat. We always talk about the weather as it is. It's a talk about in St. Louis, but what's happening right now from a heat standpoint, it might be unprecedented. Today, the all-time high is 101 here in the St. Louis area, 101. And we could very well reach that. The heat indices way above that with what we are seeing with the heat, the humidity, and we're used to it when it comes to St. Louis in the summer. But just because you're used to it doesn't mean it makes it any easier. We don't have to tell you how to stay cool, hydrate. You know how to do all that stuff. But it is a talk about. It just makes it difficult to go out and do a lot of the things when it comes from a recreation standpoint. And of course, from a work standpoint. A lot of people out making their living in this heat. If you want to give a shout out to somebody, let us know. Obviously, I think about the construction business, roofers, insulators, anybody who's outside, landscapers, anybody who is working outside. So if you want to give a shout out, do so. You can do it. Oh my gosh, yeah. And it hits you, and it'll hit you hard, and it will hit you fast. So you have to be ready from that standpoint. Guys, we are Arch City Now. Still to come, we'll talk more about what the B-52 bombers stationed in Missouri were able to do over the weekend. They were a part of that mission with our military in Iran. If there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, let us know. We'll jump in on that story, plus a whole lot more. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, Projo alongside. We are your Lou information station, live and on demand at louinfo.com.
Take control of your life and money once and for all. The Ramsey Show with Dave Ramsey. Weeknights from 6 to 9. Only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song. Hey, Cardinal fans, hydrate like a champ. Head to the ballpark Saturday, July 12th as the Cardinals take on the Braves. That day, 20,000 fans 16 and older score a City Connect tumbler courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Stay cool and sip in style all summer long with this 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler. Don't miss out on this fan-favorite giveaway. Grab your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice-cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
This is your louinfo.com news update. A suspect died after being shot by police early Sunday morning. The initial shooting happened around 2 a.m. on Manchester off Sarah Street near the Grove. When one person was taken to the hospital, the suspect took off on a moped and ended at a vacant lot on Clayton and Vandeventer, where officers said he refused orders and reached into a bag. And that's when two detectives fired and killed him. The military members involved in the U.S. strikes in Iran on Saturday have ties to Missouri. V-2 stealth pilots from Whiteman Air Force Base in Knob Noster, Missouri, completed the mission flawlessly, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. It took an 18-hour flight with minimal communication before carrying out the attack. In total, more than 125 U.S. aircraft participated in the mission. And extreme heat advisories in effect again today with highs in the upper 90s and a heat index over 100. In fact, 105 for the heat index. Make sure to limit outdoor activities, stay hydrated, and make certain children and pets are never left unattended in a car for any length of time. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your louinfo.com weather update. We're getting sunshine and very hot temperatures today. Our air temperature hitting the upper 90s, but our heat index today at about 105. Partly cloudy for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 70s. More heat and humidity coming up on Tuesday. Maybe an afternoon shower. We'll be in the upper 90s. Heat index about 110. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Looking to get organized and support local? At St. Louis Closet Company, we've been designing custom closets and storage solutions right here in St. Louis for over 30 years. From walk-in closets to home offices and even pantries, we create personalized, organized spaces that fit your lifestyle and your space. Built locally and installed professionally. Call 314-781-9000 for your free estimate or visit stlouisclosetco.com today.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. That's 800-803-1961.
The Lou Information Station content can be found online at luinfo.com, on our Lou Info YouTube page, and you can find all our local shows on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search by name or find all the links at luinfo.com. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. It is Arch City Now, coming to you live from South Carolina. That's right, from a vacation. But we are all things St. Louis today. It is hot. It is humid. It is St. Louis. It's what we know from Summers in the Lou. And of course, we promote everything. What are people talking about in St. Louis today on this Monday, June 23rd? The time, 5:45, as we get you up and out the door this morning. Glad that you're with us. What's making news? Obviously, the heat. That's one of the things that's going on. And anything else that you guys want to talk about, you can join us. And you can do it at Arch City Now. We do that. Arch City Now. You can do it on X, and you can do it on YouTube as well, bringing you the latest of what's happening today. If you want to jump in, give a shout out to somebody, let us know. I know there's a lot of people who are out making a lot of news when it comes to working in this environment and doing their best to do their jobs when the heat. Also, if you want to give us an update, an idea, a shout out, and you don't want to do it on the public chat on YouTube or X, you can also email us at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. And as always, you can reach us via telephone. The phone number, 855-282-8255, 855-282-8255, to talk about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. Cardinals getting ready. It's a big series in St. Louis, whether you're going to the game or not. A lot of TVs tuned in. The Cubs are the first place team in the division right now. It's not the Cardinals. They're 4.5 games up on the Redbirds. Cardinals getting ready to start a 4-game series at home after winning 5 of their last 6. They found some momentum again, which was good, winning 3 against the White Sox and then 2 against the Reds over the weekend. Couldn't quite pull off the sweep yesterday, but at least they've won 5 of 6, setting up an interesting series with the Cubs. 4 games at Busch Stadium. If you're going, obviously, just plan on the heat. You're going to sweat. It's going to be hot, and you just deal with it. It's one of those things. It is the summer, and that's what happens. Also, when we talk about the Cardinals, we're talking about Chip Caray. We'll get into it a little bit more in the 7 o'clock hour if you're just joining us. He will not be punished for an accidental homophobic slur that came out of his mouth while reading a promo for the Cardinals' Pride Disability Night. They had a Pride Disability Day at the ballpark, and Chip Caray he was trying to say the word flag, and the L didn't come out. So there was some speculation that something might happen to him, but nothing will. That's already been said. They said for now there will be no repercussions taken towards Chip Caray when it comes to that. Basketball news. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the NBA champs last night. They took care of business, beating Indiana. It wasn't easy until the fourth quarter. Indiana gave them everything they had. Indiana looked like a really, really good team in the first quarter when Tyrese Halliburton was playing. However, he would have an Achilles injury. We've seen more of those in the last couple of years. I don't know why. We've just seen a lot more of them. Jason Tatum, St. Louis's own from the Boston Celtics. Same thing happened to him, and that took down the Celtics. Go figure, something happens with Halliburton in the first quarter last night. I don't know what's going on, if it's a training issue, what's happening, but being a former athlete myself, I don't know why we didn't see lots of Achilles injuries or hear about them. And then all of a sudden, they're taking down big-time stars. Shea Gildas Alexander was phenomenal. He had 29 points. Not only the MVP for the league this year, but also the MVP of the NBA Finals. So congratulations to Oklahoma City, showing that drafting can take care of business. They've done very well. They've put together a phenomenal team. They are the NBA champs, following up on what Jason Tatum, our St. Louis's own, did last year with the Celtics. So big time win for them. Season comes to an end. NHL, NBA. We still have our St. Louis City SC soccer going, and of course, Cardinals baseball rocking and rolling. If you guys have anything you want to do, jump in on the chat line. Let us know. You can do it. If you want to say hi to somebody, let us know from that standpoint as well. We'll get that word out. Give shout outs when we need to. B-52 bombers. They were a part of the mission that was carried out in Iran over the weekend. And we're not going to talk politics from that standpoint. But what we will do is talk about when you have a successful mission, as it was termed by our military, as it was termed by our president, a lot of credit goes back to the men and women who work at Whiteman, who work on these planes, who are involved in those situations. But what it was they called it Operation Midnight Hammer, and the United States dropped the hammer. 7 B-2 bombers out of Whiteman Air Force Base were used in conducting the strikes on 3 of Iran's nuclear sites. All 7, by the way, of those stealth bombers returned home safely. They came back yesterday afternoon, and national security consultant for CBS, retired Army Colonel Jeff McCausland, told KMOX radio in St. Louis that the B-2 bombers dropped more than 10 MOPs, or what they're called, or massive ordnance penetrators, bunker bombers, on 2 of the targets. He also says the B-52s linked up with numerous aircraft en route to Iran and numerous refueling operations, because the flight from Whiteman is 18 hours. Whiteman to Iran, 18 hours. So, it's not St. Louis, but it's Missouri. It's on our area. It's kind of a big deal. And that's why we were just focused on giving a little bit of the information that happened. As it gets warmer, we talk about this. You have to be careful. I mean, we had a 64-year-old St. Charles man who drowned over the weekend in the Mississippi River. This was the second time this has happened already, just in the last couple of weeks. They said that the man was on the back of a boat and he entered the water for just some unknown reason. Bystanders pulled the man from the river, performed CPR until emergency responders arrived. They weren't successful. And then we also had a 17-year-old, a young boy, drown on the Merrimack River. He was in the Merrimack trying to swim, and he got tired. The undercurrent took him. They were able to pull him back to safety, but it was too late. It was too late at that point in time. He passed away on the scene as well. So we have to be careful when the summer comes, where we're going, where we're jumping into, those sorts of things. We talk about it all the time, but those are some of the things that have happened in St. Louis over the weekend from that standpoint. We talk about the heat. They have the opportunity to go over 100 today. The heat indices will clearly be over 100 when those things happen as well. So you just have to be ready for it. It is what it is. This is interesting. We said it earlier. The city of Brentwood, Missouri, they had partnered with the USDA Wildlife Services to capture Canadian geese. I don't know, what your opinions are on geese in the St. Louis area. Yes, we see them, and yes, they can be messy. So they've relocated some of those, but they've also killed others. They said it was part of a broader effort to control the population and address environmental concerns. I don't know what you feel about that, but USDA crews, captured 19 geese at the Brentwood Park on Wednesday. That was last week. They said that the population is called Health safety and environmental concerns. For example, excessive waste. It's poop on the pathways. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Aggressive behavior during nesting were also issues as to why that they were trying to get rid of that area. So, or at least try to clean up the area. Another story that you guys may want to jump into, by the way, you can join us on X and YouTube on Arch City Now if you wanted to, is I don't know if you'd seen this story, but Washington University was trying to build new athletic fields. And we know it's a fantastic university. They have money to do so. They wanted to do these fields, but a Clayton site could be redeveloped into a subdivision school. So we're talking about the Board of Regents from Concordia Seminary, you know, the religious training school. They had 72 acres at 801 Seminary Place in Clayton. And they said this last week that it hired a consultant to pursue a plan to build, once again, to build a subdivision or single family houses at the 27-acre Westmont portion of the site, in addition to exploring the possibility of new houses there. And it's all part of the property, and it could be sold to the school district of Clayton, once again to Clayton, to build a new elementary school. So that's what the seminary said, that it could be a possibility in that standpoint. At Arch City Now here, we get you started with a lot of the headlines that are happening in St. Louis. We do interviews. And of course, that you talk about. If there's a shout out you want to give, we'll give that as well. We're from South Carolina, and that's where we're bringing this shot. Our shot will look better tomorrow. I promise you that much. Thought it would be so cool. Yeah, and then the brightness pops into the screen, and it's like, okay, not so great. Maybe not so great. But if there's anything that goes bad, we'll blame it on Pro Joe, because that's what it should be blamed on, is Pro Joe. That's his job, right, Joe?
Always.
Yeah, always. He's there. Always there. Pro Joe there. Want to also let you know about an organization that could use some help. And that is a group from the Metro East that helps rescue dogs. Jackie Spiker's the co-founder of Hope Rescues. And they said that they pride themselves on saving dogs from animal control on the day that they are to be euthanized. Well, this rescue currently sits on 14 acres, and it was designed with enrichment in mind. So the dogs are treated like family, as we like to treat our pets with, given the love and the life that they deserve. But now the rescue is facing some challenges since COVID, the current economy. Their budget's higher. So if you want to help them out, you can do so. She's making a call to the public for help. The rescue is working to raise $17,000. Once again, $17,000 to keep Hope Rescues alive and as well as possible to save animals over in the Metro East. And as we know, to do anything, it takes money. And a lot of times from a business standpoint, it takes a lot of money to get things done and do it right, especially when it comes to saving animals. So if you can, great. If you can't, we get it. It's all good. Those things, people help out with a lot of causes, and there are a lot of great causes throughout the St. Louis area. And we always promote the charitable causes because there are so many people and so many groups doing so much good. That's a fact. You can't deny that. So it takes money, and there's only so much money to go around. But if you can help out Hope Rescues, do so. If you have ideas, jump in there as well. Oh, this is funny. Here you go, Pro Joe. Little, because we're a live show, we pop it up. I think I knew this, but I would never use my fan to do this. So if you've done this, that's fine. Did you know that leaving your ceiling fan on when you're away will not cool your home? Thank you. I did know that. Did you, Joe?
It circulates the air. I don't know. The fans don't really
maybe
cool
it circulates the air. You know, maybe it circulates the air. So you see that as being a positive.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you have high ceilings.
Okay. The experts say that that it doesn't. It won't make any difference. But you disagree. You think it does because of air circulation.
I mean, it's going to keep the air in the house consistent. We'll just put it that way.
I can, you know what? Maybe I'll do a test. I've never done it. I don't know. We'll see. This is Arch City now, guys. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll reset the stories for the day. Talk about that Chip Caray situation. The St. Louis Heat definitely making its path in. And of course, if you have any other story ideas, if you want to join the show, you can do so as well. This is Arch City now. We are your Lou information station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years.
Broadcasting live from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios. This is the Lou Information Station, KLIS 590 AM, Wood River, St. Louis.
USA Radio News. I'm John Summers. Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran's nuclear program took a severe hit after the U.S. strike on Iranian nuclear sites. Appearing on ABC's This Week, Vance said the attack does not mean a drawn-out conflict has begun. In an address to the nation from the White House, President Trump called the strikes a spectacular military success and said Iran's nuclear enrichment sites have been completely and totally obliterated. The UN's International Atomic Energy Agency holds an emergency meeting today. The head of the IAEA said he hopes inspectors can get on the ground in Iran as soon as possible to assess the damage. President Trump appears to support the idea of a possible regime change in Iran. In a post on Truth Social Sunday evening, Trump said, if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Earlier Sunday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had said this mission was not and has not been about regime change. Iran's foreign minister went to Moscow for urgent talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin following the U.S. airstrikes against Iranian nuclear sites. According to media reports, Abbas Araghchi told reporters in Istanbul, Iran and Russia have a strategic partnership and always consult with each other as close allies. Lawmakers across the nation have mixed reactions to the U.S. bombing of nuclear facilities in Iran. Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, Democratic Senator Mark Kelly said the attack could lead to severe consequences.
We could see terrorist attack here. The Iranians will have a lot of proxies. They could go after us.
The Arizona senator also said President Trump should have come to Congress and asked for authorization to take the action. Thanks for joining us this morning. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Us less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it. That's like something to look into.
I'm on a live show right now.
Maybe you've heard joining
it's in a commercial.
You or your family up to $500 a month. That's huge, but it's also true. People
You're
are just
not ready to
love being
yourself to the
something
public yet.
that reflects, promotes their values and what they believe in. Metashare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have cleared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. You can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S. is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get.
Why the Cardinals have
a luxury resort hotel, a delicious breakfast buffet every morning you hear. When you call right now, show tickets with up to $100. That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to be disability vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time.
And you can get the disability back.
This trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. It's not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even need to know your travel dates to lock in the special price. This offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Listen up, fellow timeshare owners. If you're a timeshare owner and you want out at all costs, you're done, frustrated, tired of wasting money, you don't use the darn thing. Get out now. Now the best Bulldog timeshare cancellation team in the business. Their in-house legal team, headed by a timeshare cancellation lawyer, can help you fight the biggest and baddest companies out there that sell timeshare. At some point, you were using your timeshare, but now you're not, and you're tired of wasting money. Before you go to the poorhouse, call right now and learn how you can stop the maintenance fees and put more money back in your pocket. Their services cost you a lot less than you think, and you'll save a lot of money over time. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline now. It's a free consultation.
800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. That's 800-824-5131.
The Lou Information Station presents Arch City Now with Vic Faust.
Hey guys, welcome into the show, Arch City Now on a Monday morning. It is a hot, sizzling summer St. Louis morning as we get you out the door on this Monday, June 23rd. I'm Vic Faust, Projo alongside, coming to you live, talking about St. Louis from South Carolina. Obviously a trip that was done. Could not stop that trip when we put this show together at the last minute. But here we are making the most of it today. Glad you're with us. It'll look better tomorrow, I promise. Boy, oh boy, what's happening in your neck of the woods this morning? Hope you guys are doing well. If you want to give us a shout out, we love it when you do that on YouTube and X. Once again, YouTube and X are the streaming platforms right now. YouTube and X are your places to go. Facebook, TikTok, that's coming soon. All you have to do is check in at Arch City Now. Once again, Arch City Now on X or YouTube. You can jump into the chat. You can talk with other people, and you can let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. You can also give us a call as well. If you want to join the show, say whatever it is. We'll patch you through. We'll talk about the topics that are in St. Louis. That phone number is 855-282-8255. That's 855-282-8255. Glad you guys are with us today. We got a lot of stories to jump into. We will. One of the stories that we were talking about before we went to break was ceiling fans. The chat line, Megan says, ceiling fans are great. A report came out that ceiling fans do not cool your home. If you're leaving and you want to keep them on, they do not cool your home. Projo says they circulate the air. Megan says, yeah, they're great. They circulate the air. So maybe they may not, quote, cool it, but it feels more comfortable. It feels better. You can weigh in from that standpoint as well if you want to. Ceiling fans. Who'd have thought? Ceiling fans. A lot of people like them. Okay, ceiling fans it is. Guys, Cardinals, that's a big story now. They have a 4-game series opening in town tonight with the Cubs. Cubs are in first place. They lead the division, or they lead the Cardinals, that is, by 4.5 games. I'm sorry. I love Cardinal baseball. I love going to games, but you know what I'm talking about. If you've been to a Cardinals game and if there's no air circulating, it can be brutal. And I know we've had an issue with attendance and not a lot of people getting out to the Cardinal games, and the heat certainly won't help that. But this is the Cubs, and Cardinals looking for any support they can get. It's tough if it's a heat indice of near 100 and there's a baseball game downtown. That's tough. Cardinals need to at least split the series, if you do the math, of course, to stay 4 games out, 4.5 games. They got to win 3 out of 4 against a first-place team to at least pick up a game. Heck, we'd love to see them win 4 straight, be a half game out when they leave. But the Cubs have a really, really good team. Speaking of sports, congratulations to your new NBA champs. They're the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's right, Oklahoma City bringing home a championship. They dominated Indiana last night after Indiana's top player, Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know if he ruptured the Achilles, but he had an Achilles tendon issue. And you knew it as soon as he did it. He knew it. Not quite sure what the hell's going on with Achilles. Jason Tatum, St. Louis's own, and the Celtics player with the same issue. He went down. He had surgery the very next day, but that ruined his season. Same thing Aaron Rodgers in the NFL had, but it's all about the Achilles tendons. So But we'll see. I don't know if something's being done with training, if there's shoe issue, court issue, whatever. But Oklahoma City wins. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, not only the league MVP, but also MVP of the finals as they take home the championship, Oklahoma City Thunder. Also, if you have any other sports shout outs that you guys want to give, let us know. We'll get to that. And a really cool shout out as well, and an honor for Matthew Tkachuk. We talked last week, obviously, about Florida winning another title and Matthew Tkachuk winning his second straight championship. But, he's not the only one. Tkachuk has now joined Pat Maroon, Oakville's own and St. Louis native, as somebody who's won multiple championships. JoJo White, Bill Bradley, of course, basketball. Jimmy Connors, the tennis superstar from Belleville, Illinois. Patrick McCaw and Andy Russell. They're the only St. Louis pro sports athletes to win multiple championships. Pretty cool honor for those people. So Matthew Tkachuk certainly cementing his name with St. Louis legendary status. And he's still young. I know championships are difficult. Some of the best players in every sport have never won championships, and Matthew Tkachuk's already won two. He'll certainly have a shot to get a third one at some point coming up when it comes to his career. So congratulations to him as well. Other news coming out of the St. Louis area, SLU president, Dr. Fred Pistello, he was named the first non-Jesuit priest as president of the university back in 2014. He's had 10 years, over 10 years now in that position, but he's retiring. So he's retiring at the end of the month. He's stepping down as president. That the school calls historic leadership and historic growth, from the number of students to the amount of research that SLU is now doing. So congratulations to him on a job well done. He said, quote, "I was transformed by the Jesuit education that I received as an undergraduate." He said, "I've always felt privileged to be at a faith-based institution, an institution that stands for something." And of course, throughout the St. Louis area, there's so many SLU graduates and SLU law graduates and people who are movers and shakers and people who are making St. Louis what it is that went to SLU University. We need to get into a story, though, that we talked about it and we set the stage here. And of course, we say like, subscribe, share our show. When we talk about the Heat, there's only so much you can do. What are you supposed to do in the Heat in St. Louis? What's a great way? How are you beating the Heat? What are your options? I just think of the people who have to be in the Heat all day, who are not just sitting in a pool, who are actually working. Construction industry, roofing, insulation, landscapers. There's others getting in and out of cars, doing whatever it is there. We have a chance to break the record today in St. Louis at 101. The high is 101. And we certainly have a chance to break that today. We'll see how high we end up getting, but there's certainly a chance to break that. People doing all sorts of things. If you're trying to stay cool, let us know if there's shows in town, what's happening. For example, what are people talking about? The Factory, they have a big, busy week. Cake is there tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Those shows start at 8 o'clock. Then on Thursday, you've got Buddy Guy. That's a 7:30 start, Buddy Guy. And then Friday night, Justin Moore. That's a 7:30 start time over at the Factory. And of course, we love to promote the concerts and the shows that are coming to your neck of the woods. And we'll continue to do that. You can jump in and chat with us on YouTube and X. Give us your comments. Let us know what's up in your neck of the woods as we say good morning. It is 6:13 on a sunny, hot summer St. Louis morning. What's making news? Those are the things that we're talking about. What are people talking about in your community when it comes to the news that's happening around? Now, a story, the big story that we were talking about this morning revolves, and I don't know if it's a big story, but it revolves around Cardinals broadcaster Chip Caray. Chip Caray was he had a slip up on a promo over the weekend, and it was in the top of the fourth against the Cincinnati Reds. He was trying to read a promo for the Cardinals Disability Pride Night. I didn't even know there was so there's Disability Pride Night. So after the slip up, there was 30 seconds of silence on the air. This is what he said, quote, Disability Pride Night is Thursday, July 10th, and with a theme ticket, fans take home a Cardinals cap featuring the Disability Pride, and this is where he screwed up, or it was an accident. He said, featuring the Disability Pride, and he meant to say flag. So he should have said featuring the Disability Pride flag and Cardinals in Braille, which is a really cool thing. But he accidentally said featuring the Disability Pride, and he dropped the L and a word that rhymes with flag with no L on Disability Pride Night. So, there was 30 seconds of silence that followed. Clearly, nothing mean, nothing mean-spirited, complete accident. It can happen for broadcasters. It's happened for broadcasters not only in the St. Louis area, but people all around the country. And it's happened multiple times. Then Front Office Sports reported that Carey will not be punished for the on-air slip-up. I don't think he should be. I don't think it's controversial. It was an accident. I mean, it came out. If you understand what happens, you read, and you're reading fast. The quote was, St. Louis Cardinals announcer Chip Carey will not be suspended or punished for now. They did say for now, despite uttering a homophobic slur during a Cardinals game telecast Saturday. FanDuel Sports Network Midwest declined to comment when they were asked about the situation, but sources close to the network said they will not be disciplining Carey, who, of course, is the late son of late sportscaster. He's the son of Skip Carey, the grandson of the late legendary announcer Harry Carey. Instead, the network is chalking it up to, quote, an honest mistake made during a live read by announcer who meant no insult to any viewers. There may be situations that happen that people deal with that. You can give us your opinions. Joe, you said you thought it was an honest mistake. You don't take it to heart. I did
something like that happening. I could see something like that happening to me in my career. You know what I mean? I stutter all the time. I trip over words. Stuff like that happens to me all the time. That was a very unfortunate one. However, I think it happens to the best of us.
It does. I don't want to downplay it, but at the same point in time, I don't think somebody should lose money or a job during a live read that you're trying to read really fast, and you're trying to say the word flag, but another word comes out that becomes a homophobic slur.
I don't think that was a conscious thought. You know what I mean? I really
it wasn't. And I still, I wasn't great friends with Kevin Steincross. We knew we were on different shifts, but I really liked him. I respected him. And if you knew Kevin, you knew that there was no ill will in his heart when he was trying to say the word Martin Luther King Jr. and the Lu and a K sound came out to make another word that's derogatory to African Americans, to blacks. And Kevin was forced to lose his job over it. And I bring that because Melanie on the chat line says, what about Kevin from Fox 2? That situation happened to him. And it's not easy when those situations occur. I talked about them. When we come back from our break, I'll tell people. I mean, I had one of those when I was a color commentator for Mizzou football. I said two things that slipped out because you're talking fast. There's energy. You want to promote excitement. It can happen. And a lot of people have had these issues. Have you ever seen the memes, Joe, of football announcers announcing games and they can have sexual orientation? If people have seen them, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Troy Aikman. Some of those memes were made about Troy Aikman talking about football plays that have other connotations. It can happen. You're not even meaning to say something, that also can happen to broadcasters. It does. It just happens. You start talking live, people can find things and pick them apart. And Chip Carey did not mean to say anything. They did not mean ill will. And I certainly hope that no issue comes of that. And that even though they do say, quote, for now. When we come back, I'll tell you about what I said during the Mizzou football telecast, a couple different ones. Unfortunately, more and more people are dying in waters now. Wear your life jackets if you're going to be in rivers or waters. Be careful. Watch people who get in at lakes. More of us are getting in. We'll talk about those stories coming up as well. Plus, whatever you guys want to. This is Arch City Now. We are the information station. We are live and on demand at luinfo.com. We'll be back with more of Arch City Now. If you want to jump in on the chat, do so at YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Back with more right after this.
It's the hottest happy hour in St. Louis. In Your City Show with Kelly Lamb and Gordon Montgomery. Weekday afternoons from 4 to 6.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu. But don't freak out. Hot Shots favorites are still there, like their famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger sandwich, the Buffalo chicken pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
This is your LoopInfo.com news update. A suspect died after being shot by police early Sunday morning. The initial shooting happened around 2 a.m. on Manchester off Sarah Street near the Grove. When one person was taken to the hospital, the suspect took off on a moped and ended at a vacant lot on Clayton and Vandeventer, where officers said he refused orders and reached into a bag. And that's when 2 detectives fired and killed him. The military members involved in the U.S. strikes in Iran on Saturday have ties to Missouri. V-2 stealth pilots from Whiteman Air Force Base in Knob Noster, Missouri, completed the mission flawlessly, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. It took an 18-hour flight with minimal communication before carrying out the attack. In total, more than 125 U.S. aircraft participated in the mission. And extreme heat advisories in effect again today with highs in the upper 90s and a heat index over 100. In fact, 105 for the heat index. Make sure to limit outdoor activities, stay hydrated, and make certain children and pets are never left unattended in a car for any length of time. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your luinfo.com weather update. We're getting sunshine and very hot temperatures today. Our air temperature hitting the upper 90s, but our heat index today at about 105. Partly cloudy for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 70s. More heat and humidity coming up on Tuesday. Maybe an afternoon shower. We'll be in the upper 90s. Heat index about 110. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. That's 800-298-0306.
Listen up, fellow timeshare owners. If you're a timeshare owner and you want out at all costs, you're done. Frustrated, tired of wasting money, you don't use the darn thing. Get out now. Hire the best Bulldog timeshare cancellation team in the business. Their in-house legal team, headed by a timeshare cancellation lawyer, can help you fight the biggest and baddest companies out there that sell timeshare. At some point, you were using your timeshare, but now you're not, and you're tired of wasting money. Before you go to the poorhouse, call right now and learn how you can stop the maintenance fees and put more money back in your pocket. Their services cost you a lot less than you think, and you'll save a lot of money over time. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline now. It's a free consultation.
800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. That's 800-824-5131.
The Lou Information Station. Yeah, we're a talk station, but not your daddy or granddaddy or great-granddaddy's talk station. We're the new kids on the block. No, not those new kids, just regular new kids. Anyway, the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 online at louinfo.com. And we actually know what all of that means. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome into our show today, Arch City Now. Vic Faust with you, going live from South Carolina. That's right, Myrtle Beach. We're here. It's a hot, it's actually cooler here at the beach than it is in the St. Louis area. At least we have water that is in this area. I'm glad you guys are with us. Jump in the show. You can give us a call, 855-282-8255, 855-282-8255. You can stream us right now, as always, as we talk about, on X and YouTube. You can join the conversation. Let people know what's up in your neck of the woods today. Anyway, let us know. Let us be a part of your morning, every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m., What's happening in your neck of the woods? What are people in St. Louis talking about? What's the vibe? Not a ton goes on in St. Louis after, we get towards the middle to the end of June, but at the same point in time, there's still a lot going on as well. We're here doing the best that we can with all the stories that we have today. Cardinals begin a 4-game set tonight with the Cubs. Are 4.5 games behind. We can talk more about them coming up in the show. They've gotten back on a winning streak of sorts, 5 of 6. It's going to be brutally hot down at the ballpark, but it is what it is. You dress for the occasion, you hydrate yourself, and you try to keep cool as best as possible. As we went to the break, we were talking about what can happen with broadcasters, and you can look it up. Many people have done what Kevin Steincross did a few years ago when it came to saying the name Martin Luther King Jr., where the linguistic style, when you say Lou and a "ka" sound make a sound that can be derogatory to Black people, to African-American race. Kevin lost his job for it. I hated to see that. Shouldn't have. Chip Carey, the Cardinals broadcaster, the other day while reading a Cardinals Pride Disability Day game night promo, a live 30-second read, he accidentally said he was trying to say flag, and he said another word minus the L that rhymes with flag. So that came out. There was an awkward pause after it because he had clearly realized what he'd done. It wasn't done on purpose. It was an accident. There was no intentions to harm anybody or to say anything. It's not like it was on his mind. So that's why this came out. So you just have to kind of go with the flow on some of those things. The Cardinals have come out, Major League Baseball have come out and said they're not going to discipline him for saying what he said. As we were going to the break, I said, yeah, I understand that. When I was a color commentator for Mizzou football, we're in telecast. I was talking to Mike Kelly. I was describing a play in the backfield, but instead of saying the backfield, I said the black field. And the quarterback and the running back at that time just happened to be African-American. They were black, so I call it the black field. Once again, those things can come out. Another situation that happened I was talking about, well, they got to keep an eye on the game clock. But instead, I said the Gamecock, like the South Carolina Gamecocks. So those things happen. Trust me, it happens. Hopefully this was just one of those stories that it goes away. The Cardinals organization said that he didn't mean any harm by it. Sometimes we say things when you're trying to go through, but nothing from Chip Carey's standpoint. And the Cardinals want to focus on baseball. That's what they'll do tonight when they take on the Cubs, at least beginning a 4-game series in St. Louis. Other news that's making headlines, if you're just joining us, that we've been talking about this morning, SLU's president, Dr. Fred Pistello, is stepping down after almost 11 years in the role. He was the first non-Jesuit priest as president of SLU. The school says they've had incredible growth when it came to the number of students and just where the university is. He'll be retiring at the end of this month. SLU will be looking for a new president after that. Your Oklahoma City Thunder are the NBA champions. They took care of business game 7 last night, dominated Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We don't just focus on sports. We cover everything, but he had a phenomenal year. MVP, then he was MVP of the finals. Tyrese Halliburton for Indiana, unfortunately, had a Achilles injury in the first quarter. Maybe that game would be a little bit closer, but it wasn't because of that. So it is what it is. Other news. This was interesting. The Heat, we've been talking about the Heat, have a chance to break a record in St. Louis today. That's right here we do. The all-time high is 101. We have a shot to get to that high temperature day, predicted to be somewhere between 98 and that. We could go higher. If you're outside, you know what to do. If you know people who are working, you can give them a shout out. If you want to give people, companies shout outs on this show, we'll do that as well. I thought this was interesting too. It's not St. Louis, but the B-2 bombers used in the military operation Saturday in Iran were used when it came from Whiteman Air Force Base. And that has long been a star base for the United States, based in Missouri. We see those bombers flying over St. Louis a lot. But they were used as part of that operation. It was called Operation Midnight Hammer over the weekend. There were 7 B-2 bombers that were used in that operation. They all arrived back at Whiteman yesterday after what was called a super successful mission. They told KMOX, Colonel McCausland, the former colonel who was working, said that they were back in Missouri. He said that they linked up with numerous aircraft en route to Iran and numerous refueling operations because the flight from Whiteman to Iran is 18 hours. Lots of success that came with that mission. And of course, if you want to give your thoughts on anything this morning, you can do that at YouTube at X at Arch City Now. Once again, YouTube at X at archcitynow.com. We have to be careful out in the waters. 2 weeks ago, you had a 20-year-old who died in the water near Mason's Island. We had an elderly man, a St. Charles man, who died in the Mississippi River on Friday. We had a 17-year-old who's now passed away after jumping in the Merrimack, which was an issue. So you have being pulled under by whatever, the undertow there. Waters with the older men as well were an issue. So it's getting to be a little bit more difficult to deal with those water situations. Be careful. Some news that happened from overnight as well. Crime doesn't pay, and we see these stories all the time. People still continue to do what they're doing. A man literally was killed overnight in South St. Louis because police say that he broke past 3 doors into a YMCA electrical service. He stuck his hands in a box and was electrocuted. They said it happened just before 3 a.m. on the property of the YMCA, literally the YMCA in Holly Hills, 900 block of Holly Hills. He was trying to enter an electrical service box, reached into the cabinet in an attempt to take some electrical components, and he was electrocuted pronounced dead on the scene. It's just sad. Ameren was called to assist, and that's what happened. Giving a shout out once again to Hope Rescues out of the Metro East. They try to save pets, dogs from being euthanized. They need some help. They've put out a call for $17,000 in help. If you can help in that cause, please do so. They are there trying to raise money to continue the mission that they have going on today. These are all topics. Anything you guys want to jump in and talk about, make a comment about. This show is about you. It's all about St. Louis, what people are talking about. And of course, we leave it wide open for you. One of the other topics that we jumped into earlier, do ceiling fans make your house cooler? Does it give you an image that it makes you cooler, a feeling that it makes it cooler? Projo says it definitely circulates the air. Megan from the chat line says it does as well, says ceiling fans are great. I've never really tried to do that, to think that it's going to make things cooler. I know that it may circulate the air in your home, but a report just came out from people who work with homes and said it doesn't cool, it doesn't help. I don't know about that. If you want to jump in on that standpoint, you can do so as well and let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. We promote things that are happening all throughout St. Louis. If there's an event that you want to talk about, we'll do that as well. And I look at our chat line. Glenn says, yes, they do. They work. Ceiling fans keep things cooler. Or is it just the wind that's circulating so it may feel like it's cooler? I don't know. I've never tried it. I'm going to go try. I mean, yeah, if I'm hot and I need some air, I'll turn on a ceiling fan. But I've never done the ceiling fan and then went over to look and see if the temperature has actually gone down. That's what they're saying. And we talk about some of these things because of the St. Louis heat. And then, of course, the air conditioning units are working more. And my, oh my, I've got a friend who's dealing with an HVAC situation. Now is not the time you want to be dealing with an HVAC situation. You just have to be careful when we're dealing with the kind of heat that we're dealing with in St. Louis because of the air. Because of the HVAC systems. If they go down, there's an issue. But keep in mind, they get worked extra hard as well. I've talked to people, have some experience in this. The HVAC systems, wherever they are, if they're not operating right, or if they get extra worked, they'll produce condensation. A lot of that condensation, if it's not hooked up right, can also cause problems with possible leaks and things from that standpoint. From the chat line, yesterday, I added a box fan in the kitchen to push some air through. He said it cooled the thermostat down 3 degrees. Okay, I'll read it again because Greg says ceiling fans did make a difference despite the report that came out because of St. Louis experiencing what could be record heat today. We could go over 101. Greg says, quote, yesterday I added a box fan in the kitchen to push some air through and it cooled the thermostat down 3 degrees. Okay. I'd be curious if you remember what the temperature went from to where from where it was by just using a box fan. We do whatever we can in St. Louis now with the heat being the way that it is. People try to come up with ways, the box fans. Yeah, maybe, I guess if you use multiple box fans and you have air shooting through, I guess that would, just like a wind, because we know what that does when it's cold. I don't know. We're glad you guys are jumping in. Glenn says, yes, there's no doubt about it. It definitely makes you feel cooler. Okay. I'm not saying it doesn't. I was just curious because of that study that came out. Added a box fan and it cooled it down 3 degrees. Whatever you guys want to talk about, this is about St. Louis. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Hot Take Central 2.0. Once again, Hot Take Central 2.0. The former Blue Cam Jansen and Cardinals broadcaster Jim Hayes. They always have an entertaining show. Greg says from the chat line, by the way, his temperature went from 76 to 73 degrees. Once again, 76 to 73 by adding one box fan in his kitchen. Okay. I trust you. I believe, trust me. I do believe you from that standpoint. If you guys want to jump in the show and join the other chats, you can. You do that on YouTube and you do it on X. You go to Arch City Now. Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., getting you started in the mornings. whatever you have in your day. It is a Monday. It is June 23rd. And obviously the heat and humidity is a big story that we've been talking about today. And we'll continue to talk about, and people giving ideas on how they stay cool and what they have in store. I mean, even the pools. If you're at pool parties, I know Projo, you said you were at a pool party yesterday, and it was almost unbearable, even in the water.
Yeah.
Even in the water from that standpoint.
Yeah, I even cooked like the meat, so I was standing next to the grill, so it was miserable.
Of course, they put
fun,
the producer. The producer. You make the show, you make the meat. Okay, I got it. That goes. Before we take a break, Greg says, you must change the spin of ceiling fans to counter clockwise as well. Okay, this is getting very scientific. We love it.
Aspect to it.
Hey, stick with us. We got one more segment coming up of Arch City Now. We are your Lou information station, live and on demand. We are LouInfo.com, the information station. Vic Faust here, live from South Carolina. Projo in-house, back in the studio in St. Louis. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Back with more right after this.
Nobody has more passion for music than Tony Patrico, and you can hear that passion come to life each week on Sounds of STL, Monday and Wednesday at 3, only on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
This is former Cardinal and Navy Lieutenant Mitch Harris. Salute those who serve. Join the Cardinals on Friday, July 11th for Military Appreciation Night, presented by Boeing. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals 40-ounce tumbler, honoring all 6 military branches. Arrive early for a powerful pregame concert by the U.S. Air Force Band on the Budweiser stage. And best of all, a portion of each ticket benefits USO Missouri. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/think. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice-cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A suspect died after being shot by police early Sunday morning. The initial shooting happened around 2 a.m. on Manchester off Sarah Street near the Grove, and one person was taken to the hospital. The suspect took off on a moped and ended at a vacant lot on Clayton and Van Deventer, where officers said he refused orders and reached into a bag, and that's when 2 detectives fired and killed him. The military members involved in the U.S. strikes in Iran on Saturday have ties to Missouri. V-2 stealth pilots from Whiteman Air Force Base in Knob Noster, Missouri, completed the mission flawlessly, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. It took an 18-hour flight with minimal communication before carrying out the attack. In total, more than 125 U.S. aircraft participated in the mission. And extreme heat advisories in effect again today, with highs in the upper 90s and a heat index over 100. In fact, 105 for the heat index. Make sure to limit outdoor activities, stay hydrated, and make certain children and pets are never left unattended in a car for any length of time. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We're getting sunshine and very hot temperatures today. Our air temperature hitting the upper 90s, but our heat index today at about 105. Partly cloudy for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 70s. More heat and humidity coming up on Tuesday. Maybe an afternoon shower. We'll be in the upper 90s. Heat index about 110. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com.
Look Looking to get organized and support local? At St. Louis Closet Company, we've been designing custom closets and storage solutions right here in St. Louis for over 30 years. From walk-in closets to home offices and even pantries. We create personalized, organized spaces that fit your lifestyle and your space. Built locally and installed professionally. Call 314-781-9000 for your free estimate or visit stlouisclosetco.com today.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. That's 800-803-1961.
590 AM, just like any other St. Louisan. We may go away, but we always come back. The Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. Get your content when you want it, how you want it. louinfo.com. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show, Arch City Now. Vic Faust here, Pro Joe, technically alongside, from a technical standpoint. I'm live in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. It's a beautiful day. I don't know if you guys, does it do any good here, Pro Joe? Can you tell when I show you? Can you even see the ocean?
Not really. It's kind of blown out in the background. There we go. A little bit.
Yeah, that kind of stinks.
Yeah.
We'll work on that for tomorrow. Oh, a little bit you can?
Like
you guys can see that?
for like
All
a
right.
split
It doesn't
second.
do much for our listeners on the radio. It's beautiful. That's all right. We're back. I appreciate it, my friend. We'll work on that for tomorrow as well. We take you to 8 o'clock. That's when Hot Take Central 2.0 joins the show. That is Cam Jansen, the former St. Louis Blue, and Louis Cardinals broadcaster Jim Hayes. We take you into that hour. Good morning to St. Louis. Hope you guys are ready to rock and roll on this Monday morning, June 23rd. Obviously, the heat is a big deal. We're talking about everything that happens in St. Louis as we do every day. And we love it when you guys get involved in our show, too. Tell us what's happening in your neck of the woods, what's going on, what's got you going, those sorts of things. We love it when you jump into the chat line as well. You can do that on YouTube and X as well. One of those topics from earlier people were talking about is how to stay cool. There was a report that was done that says fans do not make your house cooler. And most people disagree. They're using or utilizing fans of any kind, ceiling fans, box fans, whatever, to make their homes a little bit cooler, circulate air. From the chat line, I'll do anything to save money. Also, I don't fault word slips. We all do it on radio, TV, and real life. I would be in deep doo-doo for word slips in conversations with my wife. And of course, that's because of the mistake that Cardinals broadcaster Chip Carey had over the weekend. He was reading a live promo. Keep in mind, a live promo, 30 seconds, about the Pride Disability Day at the ballpark, or Pride Disability Night that was coming up. And said that you could get your Pride Disability. He was trying to say you could get your Pride Disability flag, except the word that came out didn't have the L, and it rhymed with flag. Can come out as a homophobic slur. So Greg said what he said about that. Oops, words misspelling. Yeah, those things can happen. Anyway, we're here live. If you guys want to jump in the show, you can do that. You can do it on YouTube and X. You can join the conversation as well, and let us know what's up in your neck of the woods, what's got you going today, and the things that are happening. Another story that came up that we continue to talk about. Cardinals, by the way, we always use our last segment, kind of recap everything. They've got a 4-game series starting with the Cubs tonight. It's going to be brutal at the ballpark. I mean, the team would love your support out there if you're able to get down there, but at the same point in time, it's not fun to sit and sweat unless you're a super, super fan. And even if you are, you're still going to be in one of those situations where you're like, oh my gosh, you just hope that there's some sort of breeze. Other news that's kind of happened over the night that we talk about. A man broke into the YMCA on Holly Hills for some reason, trying to steal maybe copper, electrocuted himself, broke through 3 doors.
Ruh-roh. Looks like you froze, Vic. Tell you what, we need to run to a commercial break.
Looking to get organized and support local? At St. Louis Closet Company, we've been designing custom closets and storage solutions right here in St. Louis for over 30 years. From walk-in closets to home offices and even pantries. We create personalized, organized spaces that fit your lifestyle and your space. Built locally and installed professionally. Call 314-781-9000 for your free estimate or visit stlouisclosetco.com today.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. That's 800-803-1961.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page and follow all the station's social media accounts and podcasts. Find out how at luinfo.com. The Awesome One, Earl Austin Jr., talking local sports each Saturday morning from 9 to 11. Only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
This is former Cardinal and Navy Lieutenant Mitch Harris. Salute those who serve. Join the Cardinals on Friday, July 11th for Military Appreciation Night, presented by Boeing. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals 40-ounce tumbler, honoring all 6 military branches. Arrive early for a powerful pregame concert by the U.S. Air Force Band on the Budweiser stage. And best of all, a portion of each ticket benefits USO Missouri. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/think. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice-cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
People ask all the time.
The Lou Information Station content can be found online at luinfo.com, on our Lou Info YouTube page, and you can find all our local shows on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search by name or find all the links at luinfo.com.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306.
Yes.
Okay, now I can hear. Okay, just making sure I could hear you. Okay, we're ready.
That's 800-298-0306.
The Lou information. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We do our final segment here before we close out for a few minutes before Hot Take Central. Vic Faust live from South Carolina. Excuse me, we're here this week. Who would have ever thought that box fans and ceiling fans would have gotten so much attention? From the chat line from Glenn and Winter, reverse direction of a ceiling fan to push warm air down. Well, there you go. What do you know? People in St. Louis are so darn smart. Glad you guys are with us. Thanks for jumping in on the chat line on YouTube and X. We are Arch City Now. We all know, and I don't know how many of you have, I love Ring door cameras and I love security systems because I think we need them. And I'm grateful that we have them. But St. Charles has a problem right now. The frequency of false alarms coming from business and home alarm systems. They're trying to manage the issue. Alarms going off when they really shouldn't. So a few months ago, the city council passed an ordinance covering alarm systems that's been in place since the 80s. So what they're saying is the St. Charles Police Department said that it covers a specific type of alarm system where the homeowner or business pays a service to monitor it and alert police or fire directly. So what they said is they want to encourage responsible alarm ownership for people who choose to have alarms. They say it's not something that everyone has, it's people choosing to have it. But if you choose it and you're paying a service to monitor it, you need to make sure that they're not having false alarms. Well, how is that? I mean, what is a homeowner supposed to do? So they said the city is trying to take the steps because last year officers had to respond to more than 1,600 false alarms. That's crazy. Only 1 to 2% were determined to be actual alarms. Have you had a situation like this with your alarm system where it goes off, police respond, but it really wasn't an issue? It was a false alarm. Wow. In May, last month, there were 128 alarms that went off with only 2 true alarms. So what do? I don't know. Lieutenant Gibbons with St. Charles Police said that it could be a dog that was out, a door left unsecured. It could be somebody putting in the wrong pin, a variety of reasons. They said the problem is that those alarm calls average about 24 man hours to work, which can be time consuming when there are other calls for service to be waiting. And then it kind of deletes the purpose of even having an alarm if they can't get to everybody. I mean, that's I don't know. It's happening in St. Charles. They're trying to find things to do this. They said that they're getting stuff through the alarm company, and there's a lot of different alarm companies. So some of them are responsive, but others aren't responsive. They have officers on the scene trying to figure out who the homeowner is. So all of these things add into it. For homeowners, what their situation is, there's a one-time registration fee of $25, but that it's waived for seniors 60 and older and fully disabled veterans. For false alarms, the first false alarm has no charge. The second is going to cost you $50. The third through the 8th will cost you $100. and the 9th and beyond would cost you $200. So this ordinance does provide exemptions to certain false alarms. They said that so far about 500 homeowners have registered their systems through the new process. You can check that out at KMOV. They've got more of those situations going on. Ring works fine in fluorescent, catching door-to-door salespeople perfectly to ignore. Yep, there you go. That's what you have. This is Arch City Now. We appreciate you guys joining us today. Go Cardinals tonight. Let's take care of the Cubs. Have an awesome day. Stay as cool as possible. Be smart. Throw a shout out to people who you want to throw a shout out to. You can do that. And just remember, if you're dealing with people who are working outside, imagine the kind of day that they're having everywhere from construction workers, roofers, landscapers, delivery people, people working and getting you packages, products, whatever the case. Just try to remember what they're dealing with today. And if you're in a pool, good for you. We have a chance to break the all-time high, which is 110 degrees. Keep in mind, you can always watch us on YouTube and X, and we are grateful for all the support that you give us. That's for sure. So Hot Take Central 2.0 coming up next with Cam Jansen, Jim the Cat Hayes. For Projo, I'm Vic Faust. Thanks for watching us for Arch City Now. We will see you tomorrow, and catch us at 10 o'clock today for the Mizzou Show, the MIZ-ZOU Show. We'll be talking with Gabe DeArmond and more. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you later.
The Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
Hi, sir. Good to see you, man. Let's have an awesome day. God bless you.